Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Ladies Room Talk Show. I'm Clarissa Kenty, your Kingdom Concierge. Happy Monday, everybody. Now, listen, I was a little chilly this morning, and it was hard to get up this morning. I did not want to let go of the sheets. I'm telling you, it was rough, but I did make it in. I don't know how much I got done today, but I did make it in. I hope you're staying warm out there. Change of weather. I hear a lot of people saying, I love fall. This is the best time of the year. And I love fall too. I just don't like winter or spring. So I'm that girl. But it was a beautiful day today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you made it the best of this day and that you were able to achieve everything that God has called you to achieve on this day. I want to give a big shout out to my previous guest on last week. Hey, they were rocking and rolling last week. We talked about, hey, Shavonda, happy Monday to you. We talked about bullying last week. And this month is recognition for various things this month, but primarily what we are recognizing this month is the anti-bullying and also breast cancer awareness. That's what we have decided to bring awareness to in the ladies' room. And so on last week, we really talked to some adults who shared their experiences as children who have been bullied, and then how they were able to deal with the bullying and how it affected them as adults today. And so I was bullied. My guest, Allison Sanders, was bullied as a child. Latricia Fifi Redmond was bullied as a child. She was a guest on the show last week. Oh, goodness. Chris came on. He was a guest. He talked about it. John Sanders also talked about it. But we all had different angles of bullying. You know, if you think about bullying is bullying, no, it's different angles of bullying. We talked to one person that was bullied by their own family members. It's just various ways, manipulation, fear tactics, a lot of things that can come in different aspects of being bullied. And so we were able to share that on last week. So if you missed the show, go back to the Ladies Room Talk Show. Go ahead and check those shows out, because really it shares a lot. And if you were bullied at some time, sometimes that affects who you are as an adult. And some of those times were so traumatic that I recommend some form of counseling and therapy. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you need it, get it. There's this stigma in our culture that if you go to therapy or if you have a therapist, something is wrong with you. But sometimes we need a therapist to help navigate through life's challenges and tribulations and traumas. So sometimes we need that. So I really want to thank my guests for coming on last week, for being very open and very transparent, because I believe that information was shared that was very helpful to the people who are able to hear it on last week. So I have a couple of things to say on today. A lot of things took place this week since the last time we spoke inside the Ladies Room Talk Show. So I was very blessed to be honored as one of the honorees for the She Leads Alabama. Hey, I'm telling you, it was a blessing to me. I got a little crown and I got a beautiful crystal plaque with my name on it and a couple of other things. I got a proclamation from the state capital of Alabama in Montgomery. And so I got a little a crown to put on, a pendant, just some beautiful, beautiful things that they have given me. And I'm so honored to have been recognized as being one of the leading women in the state of Alabama. Such a very high honor. And I want to thank Dr. Brandy for that honor and for that recognition. I was honored with some state representatives here in the state of Alabama and some other thriving and amazing women who were on that program as well to be honored. So again, Dr. Brandy, thank you so much for that honor and for that opportunity. And I just give God the glory for that. Also want to, let's see here, talk about what my time I had this weekend tailgating. I'm just not a big tailgater. Never really have been, unless somebody kind of, pulls me in. But for the most part, I don't went to Miles College. So the Classic has not really been that big of a thing for me, because I just really didn't graduate from either school. But there are people who are real tailgaters. And so I had an opportunity to celebrate the Averys this weekend. Mr. and Miss Averys, they celebrated 50 amazing years of marriage. Kudos to them. I mean, that's a long time to be married to one person and to be able to stick and stay, and they share their secret. And so they're a beautiful couple, just an awesome couple. So I want to thank them for allowing my family to come out and to celebrate with them. It was really beautiful. We kicked it off Friday night. Then we came back that Saturday, and I think they did something that Sunday, so we weren't able to get to that. But we did do Friday and Saturday, which was really, really, really nice. Again, happy anniversary to the both of you, and I pray many, 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 many more to come. Also, let's see here. Oh, I had an opportunity to minister at New Bethel Baptist Church, East Avondale. Oh my goodness. Pastor Leon Dow and his beautiful wife, First Lady Dow, invited me to come out and be the keynote speaker for Sunday service on yesterday. And when I tell you the family, the church family at New Bethel was amazing. They loved on me. Oh my goodness. And they were so receptive. And I want to thank Pastor Dow and his wife for allowing me to come out and to speak. One of the things I always say about ministers, when a minister invites you to come out and what they call share the stage with you, and they invite you to come and speak before their flock, that's huge. And so, and I don't take that for granted. I don't take it for granted, because you can't let everybody come and feed your flock. And if a pastor opens up his doors to allow you to get on that stage, know that it is an honor and a great privilege. So, Pastor Dow, I want to thank you so much again for the opportunity, for having an opportunity to bring forth the word. And my title on yesterday, "Are You Bad Enough to Fight?" And I took that from David and Goliath. So if you missed that, go out there to New Bethel, East Avondale, go to their Facebook page, check out a little snippet of the word. I believe it was life-changing, and I believe that people received a blessing and will never be ashamed again after that word. I want to thank God for the download on that. And as always, we want to thank North Creations, Teas and Mores for being our sponsor for the Ladiez Room Talk Show. So if you haven't grabbed your tea and you're into herbal teas, go to north-creations.com. That's north-creations.com. Go out there and get on that subscription, guys. It's cold outside. They have great spice teas and Java teas and herbal teas. They have teas for immunity building. They have teas to help you sleep at night. They have teas to give you the energy that you need, and with no caffeine, little to no caffeine at all. So go out there to north-creations.com. So tonight, guys, as we're wrapping up this month of October, we have a beautiful guest who has come to share with us today. She is a breast cancer survivor, and we're so excited about that. And we celebrate that. I had an opportunity to meet her at the tailgating event with Mr. and Miss Avery. It was really great. Actually, the executive director of the Ladiez Room Talk Show met her and then introduced Michelle to me. And she's a beautiful soul, beautiful woman inside and out. I was really excited to hear about her testimony. And I'm like, look, we got to have her in the Ladiez Room, because her testimony does not need to be kept silent. We want her in the Ladiez Room. We want her to talk about it. So, Michelle Avery, welcome to the Ladiez Room.
Hey, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, I'm glad you made it home safely, because we had to travel to get back home from the tailgating.
We did. It was a long day. Actually, that morning, a cousin of mine flew in from out of town just to do the walk with me. So I feel very blessed to have that. But we did the cancer walk, the Susan Komen More Than Pink walk that morning. And then got on the road from Atlanta and drove over so that I wouldn't miss my father and mother-in-law's event. And then drove back to Atlanta, and we got back home about midnight that night. But it was all worth it.
Yeah, that was a lot of, especially especially if you did the walk that morning. So you did the walk.
We did. I had pink hair, and I had fairy wings and a crown, and got really into the whole pink thing. And we changed clothes at my job, and then got on I-20 and drove right on over. And I think we ended up walking that whole stadium though before we found Dina and the rest of it.
Oh wow! So you had to walk at the Susan G. Komen, then come to the classic, and then walk again.
Yes. Yes. A friend of mine who was also with us, she charted it. It was over 17,000 steps that day.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's a lot. What was it, a 5K that you walked, or a little bit more?
They changed the route. It normally is, but ended up being like a mile, which was different than the past walks. So,
right.
But it was still worth it. It's an opportunity just to be around other survivors and just to lift up other people that are in the journey, and to just remember those who we've lost as a result of breast cancer, like my aunt, Sue Hughley.
Yeah, actually, I had a friend of mine that passed a couple of days ago.
Oh
Uh,
goodness.
yeah, young girl, but we're just uplifting their family, and we're praying that God would just settle them and give them the peace that they need. But Michelle, when I
Yeah.
tell you, I was so happy to hear about your testimony, and I didn't want you to go too deep into it. I'm like, no, don't talk about it now. Wait, come to the ladies' room. Let's talk about it then.
Oh
So
yeah.
let's just talk about it. Let's go ahead and dive in. You shared with me that you had a type of cancer that
Yeah.
maybe I think 17% of breast cancer survivors or those who have been diagnosed with
Diagnosed. Yeah.
it. So let's
Yeah.
share with that. Let's talk about that a minute.
Yeah. So I was diagnosed with stage 1 triple negative breast cancer.
Mm,
And triple negative breast cancer is one of the cancers that, from a population perspective, anywhere from like 15 to 22% of the population, as well as Black women 40 and under, was diagnosed. I was diagnosed at maybe 40. I'm 53. I think I'm 53, 52, 53, one of them.
okay.
I stopped counting.
Right.
But nevertheless, I was diagnosed late 40s, early 50s with triple negative breast cancer.
Mm,
And it's the type of cancer that doesn't necessarily respond to estrogen related treatment. So most cancers, breast cancers, is got some type of estrogen, too much estrogen that maybe your body's producing. But with triple negative, that's not the case. And so the treatment plan is a very aggressive because it's considered an aggressive type of cancer.
mm,
Yeah. So January 25th, 2021, I was actually getting ready to start a new job during COVID. And so the company I'd been with them for about 17, 19 years and just ended up getting a different role at the time. And
right.
um, let's backtrack even further. So mammograms, so
Mm,
important because I had no symptoms. If it
mm,
wasn't for me going to my mammograms regularly, I would not know. And then to have the aggressive type of cancer that I had, if I skipped that year during COVID, who knows what would have happened. But
mm,
I went in for my mammogram around December of 2020. And then come the last week of December, they called and said, hey, can you come back? We just want to double check something. And that never happened. And I'm the type of person that gets my mammogram annually. So
right.
that's the first takeaway. Don't sleep on skipping a month, year based on your regular
Mm,
programming for that.
mm, mm,
Well, go back and they say, yeah, it looks like there's something there. We want to do a biopsy. So they sent me to get a biopsy, and I'll never forget that biopsy was inauguration day.
mm,
And because I was trying to find something to keep my mind from focusing on this biopsy.
right.
Fast forward a couple more weeks, they called me 15 minutes before I started my new job. So I got a call about 8:30 that morning with a confirmation that you have cancer, but they didn't know what kind it was at the time, other than you've got cancer.
Mm,
And there's something there that's showing up. Um, and I started the call with my boss 15 minutes later from that. And so I stayed I went ahead and went to work. I started that job. I had to make a quick decision. Was I going to go and cry and holler and be mad at the world for that diagnosis? Or was I going to start the fight right then and there? And I chose to start the fight right then and there. So I
wow.
got on the call just like we're talking right now because it was virtual. And I told my new boss, I said, hey, just had a call, just FYI. I just was told I've got cancer,
Mm,
but we're going to keep going. And of course, she didn't know what to do. But from that moment on, it was tough from a diagnosis perspective. Mentally, you process it. You're like, why me? Why does this happen to me? They,
right.
like everyone asked that question. But where we landed was I ended up with a very, very strong treatment plan and some wonderful doctors. And the best doctor of all, my Lord and Savior, hands
Mm,
down.
right.
My sister cousin sent me a book immediately called "Healed of Cancer" by Dodie Jostein,
Mm,
was Joel Osteen's mother,
right.
and there were a lot of passages in there that just kept me lifted up to keep me from um, the doom and gloom per se. But my treatment plan looked like a lumpectomy, followed by 16 weeks of chemotherapy. And I worked through my entire period of chemotherapy. And then when I finished chemotherapy, I took about a 30-day break and started radiation for 4.5 weeks. And radiation was every day at 3 o'clock. And I worked through radiation. And I finished radiation December 10th. So my journey started January 25th of 2021, all the way through December 10th of 2021. And the only time I took off work was through the lumpectomy because, of course, you just have to heal from the surgery.
Right. Wow.
But the other thing, just to talk about triple negative and all the emotions that go through this journey. After they did the lumpectomy, that's when they're able to really tell you what's going on, because they do the testing of all of your cells or whatever the case may be. And that's when they called and said, so you really are stage 1 and you're triple negative and you have aggressive cancer. You're like, wait a minute. Say that again, because I've been strong all this time.
Right.
But when you hear the word aggressive,
right,
that is something that makes you nervous, especially if you've lost a parent like I did to cancer just a few years previous. And so I had to separate. My journey is not my dad's journey. And that took a long time for me to accept, because when you watch a parent, a close person go through cancer, and you see just how the toil it takes on people, and to know you've lost people to cancer. Mentally, yeah, you have your bad days. But the support system that I had even through COVID was just amazing. And so where I am now, I just did my MRI 3 weeks ago. And my MRI came back, no evidence of disease. And so I'm moving into 4 years. You see, the thing about triple negative is you got to get past 3. You got to get past 3. Most times they say 5. Survival rate for reoccurrence or reoccurrence is 5. But with triple negative, it's 3. And I'm at 4. And so I'm so grateful. I'm grateful. And so for those going through the journey, go through it. That's the point. Go through it. Don't stay in it. Don't stick in it. Don't let it take over your life. Go through it, because there is something you're going to get out of the journey. Didn't know I was that strong. And a lot of people say, girl, you don't look like what you've been through. And that's okay. You're not supposed to know. What you're supposed to see, though, is what God did. And that's the point. You're not supposed to see me. You're supposed to see what God did. So that's where we are now, 4 years later, and just grateful. And, the up thing about it, right? So making light of it was something I had to do in the journey. So so when I first got diagnosed and I saw the breast surgeon, and she's like, yeah, I'm not recommending a mastectomy yet, but I am recommending a lumpectomy. And in an effort to make you feel better, then they start talking about the plastic surgery and the reconstruction. And she said, well, we can give you a lift on both of your breasts if you want. I said, wait, that took the tears away. I said, you mean to tell me I get these shoulders lifted?
Right.
In the process? We got to play it. Well, let's go on through. And so you got to also look for the bright side.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right side.
Oh, wow. It sounds like your doctors that you have are very caring, very concerned, very patient, and very loving and kind. Sometimes you can get with doctors who don't consider that, because they're so used to doing what they do, and they run patients through after patient. But when they treat you like the individual you are, and they understand your plight and they really feel what you feel, that says a lot about the support that they provide. So
Yeah, I'll tell you my breast surgeon, Dr. Erin Bowman. She's amazing, and I say to your point about caring for your patients, there were complications with the lumpectomy, with seromas and hematomas, and all kind of challenges with just the fluid that kept building up. And she would meet us on a Sunday and say, "Come up here to the office." All the way, for those who might be familiar with Atlanta, downtown Atlanta is where her location is, and she would get these large tubes of fluid out. She
wow.
stopped what she was doing. As a matter of fact, if I remember correctly, her car was broken in that day. And she
Mm,
said, "I'll let my husband deal with it, the police. I will meet you." And she helped me feel better that day during the recovery period of the
mm.
lumpectomy. And the oncologist herself, she hugs you every single time. So
Oh,
Dr. Tran, she's like, "Come on, let me give you a hug," and
yeah.
and they do care, and that's important to find a doctor and a system that is going to uplift you and support you from what I would say is the support groups, the
Mm,
nutritionists that they offer,
mm,
lean into all of the services that they provide, the therapeutic um, services that they provide. It's necessary.
mm.
Don't think you can just do this on your own strength. You might, but I'll tell you, I needed all the support that I could get. And so,
Michelle,
mhm.
when when you first found out, was it something about it that made you want to kind of just hide from everybody, keep it secret, isolate yourself?
Absolutely.
Mm,
There is, for whatever reason, there is a shame that comes with having cancer. And
mm,
for me, I think it turned into the sense of burden on your friends, on your family. And again, losing a parent, I lost my father to bladder cancer in 2012.
mm.
And there is a sense of you don't want people to treat you differently.
Right.
And so when I say I worked through the journey, there were only three people on my work team, that knew that I had cancer, and I'm leading projects and I'm facilitating meetings and I'm on camera sometimes, and sometimes I'm even sitting in the infusion chair
Mm.
and telling the nurse, like doing this, like, "Give me 1 minute," because before they give me the medicines, it makes me feel weird. It's like, I got to report out, give me a minute. And I didn't tell people until probably I finished chemotherapy, which was
Mm.
October.
Oh, that's a
That
long time.
it's a
Yeah.
very long time.
Yeah.
And because people begin to look at you different, people begin to treat you different, and it's, "Oh,
Hitting
I'm
it.
so sorry," and they start sharing their stories of people they've lost. And what we don't need in that journey is hearing about all the people who passed away.
I know that's right. That now while you're in the middle of fighting for your
Like I certainly, give you my thoughts and prayers, and my heart goes out to you. But the last thing you need, and so I did a lot of research for survivors with triple
right.
negative, to read about the stories, and to get hope and to hold
Yeah.
on to hope, because it's hard. It's very hard. You lose your hair, you lose everything. Eyebrows, eyelashes, all hair on your body. You lose it all, everything. So the bright side on that, Clarissa, was, "Oh wait, I don't have to go get waxed. Perfect. We good to go, right?" So
Michelle,
I can save some money. I'm just telling you, I don't have to go get
you're
waxed up
right.
here anywhere. Like here, I'm good. You got to find the bright side. I save money on waxing.
Right.
You
You
got to
saved
find.
a whole lot of money.
I saved a whole lot of money. Yeah, and I love wearing different wigs and hairstyles.
Right,
So I
right,
was like, shave it all off. I think after the first treatment of chemo, my hair came out like within 2 days,
right.
all of it.
Mm.
And that's how strong the drugs are.
Right, right.
Yeah.
You know, Michelle, I love your sense of humor and I love the way you look at life. It's kind of that old saying, if you're given a glass that has half full of water, is it half full or is it half empty? What
Yeah.
perspective do you take on your right now situation? And so I
Yeah.
love the fact that you have what you did. And I believe that because you were able to do that, I believe God was able to work with that. That's saying, you know what, God's got me. He's always had me, and he's going to continue to have me.
Yeah.
And so to just to hear this, I think, I don't know if you give back by doing motivational speaking or anything like that to current women who are in the fight, but certainly you would be just a breath of fresh air to just to be able to speak to these women who either have just found out or who's going through the chemo. Your personality, I believe, can bring such joy to people. So I don't know if you're doing that, but you would certainly help a lot of people if you were.
Yeah. There are folks that are diagnosed and they're sent my way. And I'll talk like more one on one. And if I'm invited to these type of forums, I don't have a problem doing it. And because it's tough. And at any given time, I just wrote a story on my LinkedIn profile and talked about the what if day, because I
Mm,
just recently had my MRI. I have to have, because of the type of cancer, have to have a mammogram and an MRI every 6 months.
mm, okay.
So because your MRI gives you it gives you more than your mammogram, believe it or not. And I call it your what if day. And your what if day is what if you find out it's come back. And
Mm,
you have to function. You never know when a person has a what if day. And so on that day, I had a picture of me at work with my team, and I'm smiling, and we're all wearing pink. And I leave that meeting and I go do my MRI, and I gotta wait for the results. And while
mm,
I'm waiting for the results, the anxiety comes in, but I'm still smiling. The very next day, I get the results and I have a work event and I take a picture of myself and I'm smiling. So on my LinkedIn profile, I posted the picture and I said, my what if day just happened. Based on these pictures, though, can you tell which day was the what if day and which day was the day I got the results? And you can't,
mm,
because the attitude that I have to have is, doesn't matter what if. God has
right.
brought me through it before, he can do it again. And if
Mhm,
and
mm,
if it's not meant to be, you got to just get comfortable with where you are in life. And mortality is something we have to deal with. And my father taught me the last lesson he gave me on this earth before he left us was he taught me how to live. His death
mm,
taught me how to live. And
wow.
so I can't walk around doom and gloom. There's still work for me to, the Lord left me here for a reason. There's
Mm,
work to be done.
right.
And all journeys are different journeys. But on that journey, you can still find something that's going to bring you joy. Even in the midst of going through chemo, even in the midst of, all right, every day I got to go to radiation at 3 o'clock. I'm in at 3. I'm checking out at 3:15. I'm gonna get back on my computer for work by 3:45. Like
Mm,
scheduling meetings in between that time, because the joy of the Lord is my strength.
yeah. Wow. When I hear you mention God and how you reference him, it's not something I can tell, it's not something that you're trying to faith it until you make it. This is
Mm,
something when you speak it out of your spirit, you know for a fact that he is everything that the word says that he is.
yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah, and because he's also shown me so much before. So before I had cancer, um, I had brain surgery. Before I had brain surgery, I had two pulmonary embolisms that went straight through my heart into my lungs.
Mm,
Before that, I had two other sinus surgeries. And so all of that in my 40s.
wow.
And, you know, I say all that to say, if you keep leaving me here, God, you got something for me to do.
That's right.
And I can't choose the attitude of negativity, because that will feed into you. You'll start to be negative and then
Mm,
you'll live negative. And
right.
then you're not doing what the Lord has asked you to do.
Mm.
So I try to be positive because there's just too much negativity in the world, and who needs that?
Right, right. And it doesn't bring you peace. It doesn't bring you the joy that you need. It's very, very weighty.
It
Um,
is.
when you
And when
worry.
you're in and when you're in the journey of fighting cancer, you need all the positivity you can get if you want to win.
Right. That's right.
And
And you are a product of that. It is so wonderful. As we are wrapping up today, because I don't want to hold you, but I would like for you to speak to those who are still in the fight, Michelle. Speak to those who may have just found out. They may have just gotten the diagnosis, or those who may be just in the middle of those treatments, and it's just really taking a toll on them. I want you to speak to those people and encourage them to keep going. I would love for you to do that. I'm going to bring you full screen. I'm going to step out for a second, and then I'll step back
okay,
in on you. Okay.
okay, sounds good. So I would say to those in the fight, you are in the fight. You haven't lost the fight, and so keep fighting and keep fighting until you win. It is going to be difficult. There are days that are more challenging than others, but I'm going to encourage you that today's medicine, today's treatment plans is not the plans of 20 years ago. It's not the plans of 10 years ago. And so I'm going to encourage you to go through it and keep your head high. I don't care how much hair you've lost. I know you're gonna get the bags under your eyes, and you're gonna get neuropathy in your fingers if you're in treatment. But this shall come to pass. That is one of the things that I would hear from time to time from my family. And someone said family support is so necessary. It is. It will pass. But lean into the people that are in your support circle, your family, your friends. If it wasn't for the praying, whew, praying family, it matters to have people in your circle that are positive. So when you find people who are negative, cut them loose. Cut them loose. At this point in any type of treatment or any type of diagnosis, all you want to do is surround yourself with people who are going to love on you and who is going to support you. And I say in my closing, find the bright spot. You might have cancer, but cancer does not have you. At some point, it shall pass. It will pass. And one thing my cousin would tell me from time to time is that cancer is not a diagnosis unto death. It is not always the case. It is a diagnosis for learning. It is a journey. And go through the journey, because on the journey, God is going to deposit something in your spirit and in your soul that's going to put you in the same seat that you see me in today. And let this test be a testimony unto others. And so if he did it for me, I promise you he can do it for you, because he is a God of miracles. And so I just encourage you, stay encouraged, lean into your support system, do what your doctors tell you to do as well. I know some people believe in different types of treatment plans, and you have to do what works for you, but listen to your doctors. They know what they're talking about. All the research that the world has done now about breast cancer, they're doing it for a reason. And so, but just stay encouraged. Even on those hard days, look for what's positive. Just know, well, I got 2 more weeks, 3 more weeks, or 2 more days, and I'm going to ring that bell. And then if you're going through a diagnosis that doesn't give you a sense of relief, I'll tell you, God is still able. He is a miracle worker, and he can do anything but fail. And lean in and trust that whatever God has for you is going to be for you. And it's tough. It really is. There are many nights I cried and screamed and hollered and was angry. Um, but at some point, I heard God say, it's going to be okay. You're not alone. And so lean into your circle, lean into your family, and just don't give up. Don't you dare give up, because cancer just doesn't have you. It doesn't. Don't accept it. Just understand that it is a process, and that's what I did. I'm gonna go through the process, make the plan, work the plan, go through the plan, and get to the end, and follow that plan, and then look for that bright spot at the end. So I think that's what I would say to encourage you all. Stay encouraged. Don't give up, and just fight. There is a reason that you see people. There's a slogan that says "Fight like a girl." Someone said that to me today. I said, "No, I'm not fighting like a girl. I'm fighting like a man. I'm gonna fight hard. I'm gonna fight as hard as I can because there are things that I need to do on this earth, and I'm not going to let any type of diagnosis take me out when God hadn't taken me out yet." So that is what I'll share with you all today.
Amen, Michelle. That was beautiful. Again, when I hear you speak, I know that you're speaking from a place that authenticity. You're not just talking just to be talking. You're living this. And some of the things that you mentioned are things like God is a God of miracles. You mentioned that God is able. And you also mentioned that to lean into your circle. And so I didn't realize, Michelle, how important community was until I lost my mom in February. I had no idea. I was
Yeah,
always one that was the community for people, but I never realized the importance of community being there for you. And so people just being there, loving on you, uh, filling in those gaps, filling in those voids. It's kind of like your errands and your ers, holding your arms up when they get weak. People being there to kind of push you along when you don't feel like it. Leaning into your circle. Number one,
yeah,
identify who that is. Number one,
yeah,
make sure you got the right people in that circle, but then just know that people are there for you. And I love the things that you said, Michelle. Like I said, it was very authentic. And I think you spoke to a couple of people. You spoke to the people who are still in the fight, but you also spoke to people who are caregivers, those people who are supporting and being there for the survivors and those who are going through. That because you have to stay in that fight with them. You
yeah,
have whatever the person is believing, you have to believe as they believe. If they're believing the report of the Lord, you believe the report of the Lord. If they're believing for healing, health, and long life, then the support group believes in that same thing. And
yeah,
so that's what I hear you saying tonight, Michelle. And I'm so grateful and so honored that you decided to share with us tonight, because you did not have to do it, to share with us the ins and outs, the personal walk that you've had with this and how God has brought you through. So your testimony is powerful. And I believe that as we're listening, those who will go back and listen to it later, share this live on your Facebook pages, because I believe what Michelle has said today is going to help some people along the way. So we want to go ahead and get that and share it out. Hey, this is one of my beautiful mothers that I've adopted back in the day in South Carolina, Kathy Cox. Thank you, Kathy. The joy is your strength.
your strength,
Amen
yes,
and amen. Lynette popped in today. She had a few things to say. Allison Sanders has popped in. Of course, Shavonda is here as well. So we have several people who kind of just really support the ladies' room all the time, that pop in today, Michelle. And so I know that they're very committed to sharing this live on their Facebook page, because people need to hear your testimony, not just of people who've been diagnosed with cancer, anybody who is in a space where they feel like they can't go on. Michelle, what you have shared today is the secret sauce. It's the secret recipe that people can need and use to know and remember that God is able, and God will do exactly what he said he will do.
what he said he will do. He
Yeah.
can do, he can't do anything but that. And I think you said something I didn't hit on, and just one more minute around support circle. And I went through this during COVID. That meant people couldn't travel to me. So my husband Charles was here, and my daughters were here, but I couldn't travel to them, and they couldn't travel to me. And so I say that to say it's so important to just lean in. You can do it virtually, y'all. If your immune system won't allow people in your physical space, do it virtually. Do this. Now we know how to connect virtually. So don't let that be an excuse to not connect with the people that love you that may be away, far away from you.
Yeah, I love that. And that definitely to encourage people, because sometimes you have folks in your family that they're those people that rally everybody else. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's hard to do that sometimes, but just you have to stick with it because community is so, so very important. So thank you for that support, Michelle. I appreciate that. I
Thank you
appreciate
all
that.
too.
And listen, Michelle will go ahead and give you a virtual key to the Ladies Room Talk Show. So whenever you have something going on, you got something good happening, or you just want to come and hang out, use that key. We'll be here waiting for you. How about that?
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yes, we love you, girl. Thank you again for popping in and hanging out with us. And also to my listening audience, listen, we're not who we are. We could never be who we are without you. Our support group, the people who come in every Monday, listen to us, share the live, share the information. We are forever grateful, and we're so appreciative. We're celebrating 9 years of the Ladies Room Talk Show. Next year will be 10 years. Our executive producer has some really cool things coming down the pipeline for next year, celebrating our 10-year anniversary. So I'm excited about that. Also, there's something I wanted to mention too. Fifi Redmond with Phenomenal Therapeutic Massage is offering 30-minute massages to those people who have been furloughed, those who work for federal government, who are not getting paid right now. I think she may have about 5 slots left that she is offering these services to help people get through their traumatic times by offering spa care. So I think that's a really good idea, and I think it's very relevant because this is a very stressful time for a lot of people who are used to getting a check and not getting one. And so to have that therapeutic care, I think is just a really good idea. So go over to Latricia Fifi Redmond. She has her information out there on the Facebook page. I say go ahead and do it as quickly as you can because she only has 5 slots left. And once those slots are gone, they are gone. So we really appreciate her doing that and helping out with the community. Also, a big shout out to our sponsor tonight, North Creations. That's north-creations.com. For all of your tea and herbal blessings, reach out to Liz Macbeth and grab you a cup of tea. You will be glad that you did. Let's see. See what Kathy said. And we're all called by name in God when we're born. God strong in his might. Amen to that. Thank you, Kathy. We love you, sweetie. We love you. Love you. Thank you guys so much for joining us inside the Ladies Room Talk Show tonight. And join me Wednesday at 11 a.m. on the Joe Lockett Show. I will be a guest on there. I am looking forward to it with not Joe Lockett Show. He changed it to Coffee and Conversations. So I'll be a guest on his podcast with Coffee and Conversations. So join us 11 o'clock a.m. on Joe Lockett's Facebook page. So guys, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll look forward to seeing you back here next Monday. You know what? I have a special show that's coming on tomorrow. I have Tamika Holmes that's going to be coming inside the Ladies Room tomorrow at about 1 p.m. She has the community development organization. What we're going to be talking about, guys, is, we're going to talk about the EPT cards. We're going to talk about those people who don't have money to be able to feed their families in the Jefferson County and the Birmingham area. We're going to talk to that. And we're also going to talk to local areas that have food for you in November. So we're going to talk about, though, I know of at least 26 locations that will be able to provide food for families. That if those of you who are affected by not having the money on your EPT card, I did notice today on a article that said that money will not be loaded as of right now. Money will not be loaded on the EPT. So we need to let you know where these resources are so that you can still feed your family. You can have something to eat. So join me. It's a special edition, a Ladies Room special edition on tomorrow at 1 o'clock p.m. And I have Tamika Holmes inside the Ladies Room. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. So be sure to share that information as well. All right, guys. Thank you again, Michelle. Mwah. Love you so much, my dear. Thank you for hanging out with us. And guys, you have a great, wonderful, and safe rest of the week. And I'll see you back here next week. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Step into the Ladies Room with Clarissa.